Dem guys.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dem Guys, the podcast where we pretty much talk about whatever we feel like talking about. I am Drew, and I am one of the hosts, and yeah, you guys.
Slash comes before snow.
We're going alphabetically.
Yeah.
Well, Matt also comes.
Yeah, Matt also
snow.
comes before snow, so either one
way.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
I come before you twice.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
whatever.
Matt
You
or
probably
Slash,
came before me in life too.
You call me old?
No, I didn't say that.
Ah, I see.
I've
I'm
met him
Snowshoe.
in person. He's old.
Yeah, well. And wise.
Okay, then. If you say so. So, hello.
Hi.
This is a podcast. Episode 1 of what will potentially have a lot more than one episode.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. So, this is something that I have wanted to do for a while now. Listen to a lot of podcasts. And I've always had a great time listening to them. And so I just thought, hey, why not try and start my own? I don't really expect to have a lot of listeners, just like when I started my YouTube channel. I didn't really expect to have a lot of viewers.
Don't sell yourself short, Drew. You're gonna be a
it's just
sensation.
we're small, not like super well known. We're just starting out, so I don't really expect like to have people flocking to listen to the first episode of our podcast. But
You never know.
that is
There's
true.
plenty of listeners that need a podcast to fill their ears,
Yes.
There you go.
and we could be those voices.
Yes.
Indeed.
Words of encouragement from Snowshoe.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess we'll jump right into it. Our first thing that we're going to talk about, which we're probably going to do every single time we record, is just talk about what games we've been playing. So, who wants to start?
So, Drew, what games have you been playing?
Okay, then. I have been playing quite a bit, actually. I haven't played a whole lot of Minecraft lately, and it's not because I have a lot of friends who are saying, oh, I'm getting burnt out of Minecraft, don't really feel like playing anymore. It's not because of that. It's just because I have tons of other stuff I also want to play. But I did briefly get on the VintageBeef Fan Server, and I worked on my base a little more, just building up the walls a little bit. Nothing too interesting. Kind of the big game I've been playing, like, with other people is Smite. Awesome game, free to play. Go check it out.
But yeah, what is that? I mean, for the people, what was the website for that? It was like
SmiteGame.com.
SmiteGame.com. Yeah, and it's like a League of Legends kind of thing, right? Or like a...
Yeah, it's that type of game, but it's League of Legends is like a top-down, and it's kind of just like you click on something and your character auto-attacks it. This, actually, you have to aim, and it's real-time. It's also third-person, so you're behind your character. But
it's based on, like, mythological characters and
like
stuff.
Yeah, you play as
Yeah.
different gods or whatever from different cultures. So, like...
Such as Chinese.
Yes, Chinese. Is that the only one you remember?
I'm just saying that's the coolest one. Like, Chinese
Okay.
mythology is easily some of the coolest stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know very much about... I've actually learned a lot about mythology just from playing the game, and it's interesting.
Video games teach you things.
Yes. So, but like Chinese, Mayan is pretty cool. Norse, Greek, Roman.
See, we know all those are really cool, but like Chinese, man. Chinese is cool.
It's automatically cool if it's from the East.
Yes.
That's just the way it works here in America.
Exactly. We're not awake at the same time, so we don't even know what the heck's going on over there.
Well,
It's true.
I mean, if you want to go, Matt and I are in the east part of America, so that's right there.
That's true. We are the coolest part of the United States.
No,
Well,
East things aren't
because we
necessarily the coolest part just because they're East. I'm just saying East of the world is cool.
Meh.
Ugh.
But yeah, that's smitegame.com takes you there, and it looks pretty cool. I haven't had a chance to actually play it myself because it's a Windows game, and I just haven't bothered to try and either get it working in Wine or boot over to the Windows side of my computer. But it's something that it's a play for free game. Like it looks awesome, so it's something I'm definitely planning on
it's an
checking out.
amazing game to play with friends. It took me a while to learn just because it's like nothing I've ever played before, but it's so much fun, and I highly recommend it. I've recently gotten a whole bunch of just like new games. All of them are pretty big open world games, and so I'm kind of jumping around between them because they all have so much content, and I want to play all of them. So the first one, this one I didn't buy myself. I've been borrowing it from a friend. Is Fallout 3. And I recently just started playing that, and I've heard so many people talk about how good it is. And that's pretty much what I spent today doing, is I played Fallout 3 because...
Did you get those on the Steam sale?
No, I'm playing it on... These are 360 games that I'm listening.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not good at that kind of game where you have like low resources and like it's a real challenge to survive. So I'm actually playing on like a low difficulty. I know my friends or at least the friend I'm borrowing it from is probably really disappointed in me because he always tells me like games are supposed to be a challenge and it's not going to be fun if you make it too easy. But I'm having a great time playing on easy difficulty because I'm not dying all over.
Can you turn it up like halfway through, or is it one of those where you start easy?
Yeah,
you have to stay easy?
as I level up, I might level up the difficulty, but I mean it's still
it's just like a shower or a hot tub. Once you get in the water and it's hot, but then it just kind of turns kind of warm, then you turn it up.
Then you're good to go.
Yeah, you can stay in the heat.
I got 2 JRPGs, which I've never touched that kind of genre before, and this is totally new to me. They're both turn-based, and the reason I'm playing them is because one of the things I love about this style is the crazy moves that you can do. So the first one that I got...
Sorry, I was going to ask you that question, and you already answered.
The first one that I got is called Lost Odyssey. I feel like it's not very well known. It's an Xbox 360 exclusive. So it's not on the PC or anything. But it's really interesting. It's not quite as like crazy combat action, or at least not yet. And it's kind of a slower paced game, but I don't know, something about it. I really like it. I'm not super far into it. It's a 50-hour game on 4 different discs.
Wow.
Holy cow.
So, and I'm probably like 5 or 6 hours into it. On the first disc.
You're like 10% of the way there. Congratulations.
No, well, but it's 50 hours with the campaign. That's not including like all the side quests and stuff. And so I'm like spending my time like managing my inventory and stuff. So I'm
yeah.
I'm going really slow. But
you got like 100 hours left.
Yeah, probably.
That's typical of the genre, though. I mean, JRPGs are time sinks. No matter which game you're playing in that genre, you're going to be contributing a significant amount of time to it.
I don't know if I can stand it. I mean, that's a long game. I've never tried it. You'll have to tell me how it goes.
I just fought like my first kind of big main boss, and that was a tough fight, and it involved a lot of strategy. And that couple of rage quits, didn't beat it my first try, but it was pretty good. The other game that I just got, which I haven't played nearly as much of, I just started it the other night and I played maybe like half an hour of it, is Final Fantasy 13. I've never played a Final Fantasy game before.
Me neither. We're a
And-
great podcast. Never played Final Fantasy, one of the most popular games of all time.
Well, now I have. So
So how
Dang
are
it.
you?
We're legit now.
How are you finding Final Fantasy 13 so far?
So far, I really enjoy it. I had heard a lot of bad reviews before playing it, and that's actually why I was looking at Final Fantasy 13 and Lost Odyssey at the same time. I got Lost Odyssey first because it actually had like a much higher review. But I feel like Final Fantasy was put under more criticism because it is a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
see,
the 13th
that's-
in the series, and so it's
Right, and that's one of the things that makes it hard to get into for me, because it's like, where do you start the game off? You can't start episode, like, game 1. You can't
Well,
do Final
the thing
Fantasy
is-
the thing about Final Fantasy is that Final Fantasy 13 has absolutely nothing to do with Final Fantasies 1 through 12.
So, like, there's no recurring characters or anything?
There's
From
no,
what
well, sort of. There are certain characters that come up on a regular basis. Like, there's usually a guy
Right.
named Sid in, like, every game, but he's not necessarily the same character or serves the same purpose. They're all separate storylines that don't
Yeah.
have any continuity to each other or don't take place in the same universe.
Unless it's like there's Final Fantasy 13 and then Final Fantasy 13-2, and
Right.
then next year Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, essentially Final Fantasy 13-3, is coming out. So that's kind of like its own trilogy story thing. And that does all have the same characters. And so I decided I'd check it out. And if I liked it, I'd probably get number 2. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. The reason I picked number 13 was because that is like the only one. Like growing up, I'd heard the name Final Fantasy sort of, but I didn't like ever see any gameplay or trailers or anything except for number 13. And all I knew was that 13 looked amazing. And I've played it, and it's a few years old now. It's not really a new game, but it's still, it probably has the best graphics of any game I've ever played. It looks incredible.
That's interesting.
And like I don't know very much about the characters or anything, but instantly, like just from watching the trailers and stuff, I saw Lightning, who's the main character in Final Fantasy 13. I'm like, I want to play as her.
Mhm.
Like, and it's kind of what I was saying about JRPGs, where it's like they do all these like crazy flips and stuff when they're fighting, and that's exactly what she does, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. They put a lot of attention to the graphic design of those games. They were sort of try and pioneer, I think, a lot of the graphics options, because the original Final Fantasy was for the Famicom, the NES, back in the day. So it was, the 8-bit sprites and everything, and you had a fighter named Fighter, stuff like that. It was a real sort of low budget game, but they did a lot with what they could with the technology at the time. And a fun fact, if you didn't know, the reason it's called Final Fantasy is because when they made the original game Final Fantasy, they thought that was going to be the last game their company was ever going to produce, because they were like going bankrupt essentially.
Nice.
And it turned out that it was a big hit, and it allowed the company to rebound, and they've just kept the name for that style of game as they've been going forward. And that's why they've every number of Final Fantasy is a different game. The only time you run into sequels is if they tell you, okay, this is, Final Fantasy X-2, for instance, is a sequel to Final Fantasy X. But
Yeah.
That's almost kind of morbid to name your very last game Final Fantasy.
right.
I
Well,
mean, like,
that's a very Japanese thing to do, I think.
I guess, but I mean, like, has anybody ever named their, like, the last game their company ever makes something like that? No, because the last game is obviously the one that gets them out of business, so it's not like they're going to be like, well, this is the very last one. It's going to suck.
Desperation by
Congratulations, you've lived
Yeah.
longer than this company.
But now, if I may recommend, because I've become a little bit of a connoisseur of the Final Fantasy games. I haven't played all of them. I've played a lot of the better known ones. And 13 is definitely going to be visually one of the most striking, because it's just one of the newer ones. But I also recommend that you check out Final Fantasy VII, which
That's the one I hear everyone talk about.
it has a really good storyline, and when you play it, the graphics are fairly low res and because it was on the PS1. So it's kind of low res and some of the 3D portions of it are actually look kind of hokey because the characters look completely different between when you're on the map screens and when you're in the fighting screens because of the technology that they were using. But when you look past that and you look at the mechanics of the game, the system that they use for managing your magic and special abilities and stuff like that, it was really well put together in that regard. And it is one of the most popular storylines of all the Final Fantasy games. And then the other one I'd recommend is Final Fantasy X, because that was for the PS2, and I absolutely love the story in that. And that is most of the Final Fantasy games are an active time battle thing where there's like a timer ticking down. Final Fantasy X is completely turn-based, but the order the turns are taken in can be influenced by some of the abilities that you use. So, and it shows you whose turn is coming up. So it'll be like, okay, you're controlling this character, and next up is this enemy. And then you go into like the abilities list, and you pick an ability, and it says, well, if this ability hits, this is what the resulting turn order is going to be. So you can see how you might be able to push this enemy further down the list so that you get more turns. I'm a big fan of that as well.
Yeah, it seems like most turn-based games that I've seen anyway, are a sort of, you choose your moves at the beginning and then it just sort of allows everything to happen. And that actually really surprised me because the very first one I played, which was Lord of the Rings, The Third Age, it was just it showed what everyone's turn was. And when it got to your turn, you got to choose what to do, which is kind of a more like D&D style. Right. A little bit.
Which might be part of the appeal of Final Fantasy X to me, is that it feels more like I'm playing a tabletop RPG.
Yeah. The last open world game that I got, that's the only one I haven't opened yet, is I just got Red Dead Redemption. That had been on my list of games to play, but it wasn't necessarily on my list of games to buy. Not anytime soon.
I mean, I hate to break it to you, but you gotta buy it to play it.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, there are some
unless you're gonna steal it, like some internet pirate.
No, I wasn't going to. I'm just saying, like, there are some games that I'd be like, yes, I'd totally go buy that. There are other ones that I'm like, I want to play it, but unless I can just like borrow it from someone, or if I get it as a gift, it's going to be a long time before I get around to that, because I'm not excited enough about it to actually go to the store and pay for it right now.
Yeah, that's like me wanting to see Ender's Game. I want to go see it, but not in theaters, and that means I'm probably not going to watch it when it comes out on video.
There's very, very few movies that I will go see in the theaters, just because I don't feel like.
I mean, it's $1 on Redbox now. Redbox has taken over the at-home video revolution.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Hollywood Video. Do you guys remember that?
Vaguely.
Barely. Yeah.
It was like 19 years ago, I think.
Yeah, with Red Dead Redemption, I have not played it myself. A friend of mine played it. He really enjoyed it. The only exposure to it that I had ever had was from the channel The Co-op Mode. You guys familiar with them?
I am not.
They're a pretty funny channel. It's these two guys, Chris and Seth, I think their names are. And their whole premise is that they play two-player co-op games, together on their channel. And they played Red Dead Redemption together. And what they'll do is they'll play the game for however long, and then they cut it down to like a 15-minute episode. So it's all these highlights of the best things that happened while they were playing this particular game.
Yeah, that's a good way to do those open world style games, because there's so much inventory management and just like wandering for hours and stuff.
Yeah, if you have like a ridiculous amount of time on your hands, you can play an entire game for an episode.
Right. But they had they had a moment in their episode where, well, first of all, they had ridden their horses to the top of a mountain, and the one guy's horse just walked off the mountain and just fell off. Yeah. And then the other guy, he was trying to use the scope on his weapon to try and, see scope out a city or town or something in the distance, and he ends up walking a little bit too far off the edge, and he starts sliding down the mountain. He's like, oh, that's it. I'm dead. There's no way I'm surviving this. And he's sliding, and then he hits something, and he starts like tumbling and rolling and stuff.
Yep.
And he gets to the bottom of the mountain, and he's alive
Oh my God.
against all odds. So then the other guy decides he has to try it, and he tries it a couple of times because he kept failing and dying. But the other guy's watching him through his rifle scope as he goes tumbling down the mountain. It's pretty fantastic. I'll have to link
I've
you guys
seen
to that.
some of those tumbling kind of style videos. But yeah, so what I was saying is it wasn't on my list of games to buy. I got it for free. So
Oh, well, there you go. Makes
Yeah,
it
exactly.
an easy
That's the
decision.
reason I
Legally
got
free?
what?
For legally free or for illegally free?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
That's a great
No,
timing
I
on the
got
answer.
it legally for free as a
Oh, okay.
as a thing from work.
Oh, like under the table thing from work?
No, as like a you did a good job, you get to pick one item that's less than this amount of money.
Okay, I was gonna say, you get to pick like one item from the store, and Drew chose Red Dead Redemption. It's like a $25 game.
So, one last thing I wanted to mention in my gaming stuff is that I have been getting, and I started the first one. I'm playing it over at a friend's house. I have been getting PS3 games, even though I don't have a PS3 yet.
Because they're so cheap.
Yes, I'm going to be getting a PS3, but because I don't have it yet, because I'm waiting for the price of the actual console to go down. I got some really cheap.
So really, you're like buying stock in PS3 almost.
I got the Uncharted series.
Oh yeah,
which is the
That's a good one.
games that I pretty much want to get the PS3 for. I'm gonna play other ones, but those are the main ones I wanted to play. So I've been playing.
If you had a time machine, you could go back like 6 years. When
Why?
PS3 first came out, and then you could play them and be cool. But instead, now you're like buying them after everybody.
But I
else.
had an Xbox 360, and I'm happy with my Xbox 360.
But now you don't have any next gen. What are you gonna do?
I don't want next gen. I want to play all the good games that already exist.
That everybody's already played? You don't want to play any of the new games that nobody's already played?
But I don't.
Speaking of new
Don't
games that
understand.
nobody's already played. Anyway, continue. Which game did you buy? Uncharted?
I bought the whole Uncharted. Well, I had originally gotten the first two. It was like a 2 for $10 deal. So I got the first two, and then on Black Friday, GameStop had it was like a buy two used items get one free. So I went ahead and got Final Fantasy 13 and Uncharted 3, and then my brother-in-law got the free game. So, I mean,
sure.
I offered it to him. I'm like, hey, do you want to pick out a game and do this together? So he got Medal of Honor, but
Does he have a PS3?
he has a PS2.
Did he get Medal of Honor for the PS2?
No, he has an Xbox 360, and that's
Oh, okay. All right, that makes more sense.
yeah, pretty.
I thought you guys were like sharing and you're commiserating about not having PS4s by getting PS3 games without PS3s.
No, I don't want a PS4 or an Xbox One.
Just keep telling yourself that. They're brand new. How can you resist new things?
Because they're super expensive and
But they're
not.
new and shiny.
So,
Okay.
Snow, you've got some games that you've been playing?
I play games. I've been
Good
playing
to know.
Minecraft, obviously. Yeah. No, well, you guys know on my channel, I always do. I have my VintageBeef Fan Server Let's Play, and then I have my like extraneous Minecraft map Let's Play, and that's usually what I stick to. Sometimes I do a console game or a PC game or whatever. I haven't had much luck with copyright infringement on those ones, but we'll see if it gets better in the future. I've got some plans. But anyway, so besides the VBFS, I've been playing The Code 2. Have you guys ever heard of The Code 1?
Only so much as you had referenced it as it having been included as part of the diversity CTM map that you just finished up. So
Very true.
that's
I
the
did
only
finish that up.
context that I have for that.
Yeah.
Yep,
I had
it was.
for that?
It's kind of a puzzle game, basically, and I don't know, I really like Minecraft puzzle maps. Not really the most fun to watch, I guess, according to people who watch them, who don't watch them, I guess. But,
Yeah, I prefer watching
really?
puzzle maps than,
I mean, I can't say that
like
I've
a
really
Super Hostile
watched
or something instead.
a full LP of it, though, because it's like, I can't watch somebody try to solve a puzzle whenever I'm trying to do it in my head also. But I don't know. I understand it to a certain extent. Anyway, but the code is kind of a series of 20 different levels. Basically, you have to figure out how to open the next door by solving the puzzle. Well, this one is the code 2, subtitled Infinite, which is based off of one of the levels in the code 1. And basically what he does is, if you walk into a certain range of a command block, he teleports you to a different place. But he teleports you in such a way that he builds the areas to where it looks like you don't teleport. So you can do kind of like what's it called? The infinity stairs? You know what I'm talking about?
Like Mobius strip type thing.
Yeah, the Mobius strip
like
type
the MC
thing.
Escher stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but I was afraid I was wrong. MC Escher. Where you keep walking up the stairs. Yeah, he's got a level like that where you just walk up the stairs and it teleports you back down, but you still think you're walking up the stairs, so it's completely infinite. Anyway, the whole map is based off of that. And I've actually finished it in one sitting, and I finished it twice in one sitting.
Oh, was that the game that you said was, or the series you said was coming out on Thanksgiving?
Yes. I'm 2 episodes in, and this next one's going to be my last episode.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Like,
it's not a particularly long map.
No, that was the thing. Like, the first one took me 5 episodes to finish, and normally, sequels after the hit first game, the sequels are normally a little bit longer, so I was kind of expecting, maybe 10 episodes or something. No, I just, sat down, recorded 2 episodes of it, and I finished right at the beginning of the third one, and then replayed the entire map. I won't. It's a spoiler why I replayed the entire map, so I can't really say it till it comes out. But if you go check it out, you'll see.
Is it like one of those alternate ending deals?
I can't tell you, Drew.
It would be a spoiler. Were you not paying attention, man?
Jeez, that was like the beginning of my sentence. The subject and the predicate. Remember the subject of the sentence. Anyway,
I heard. Anyway, so yeah,
what else I've been?
I have to go watch that. I was just gonna say I have to go watch your series of that. I had not gotten around to watching those yet.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I like the puzzles, but I don't know. I feel like some of the puzzles I finished them, but I didn't know how. So I just went on to the next part, and I was like, well, okay. And then the second time I played through it,
that was the right answer.
Yeah, because normally, if you try to finish a level and you don't get it right, he'll teleport you back to the beginning of the level. And sometimes I just tried it and I was right. And I was like, well, alright, I guess that was probably harder than I thought it was, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, besides that, and besides Minecraft in general, the big news this week in, I guess, voxel-based gaming, Starbound, which many people have been clamoring over, came out about a week ago. And everybody's playing this game. You look on YouTube, all of the YouTubers are LPing it. Even in our VBFS chat, we've got probably half of us talking about the game constantly. Yep. It's a great game, but it's still in beta, which, everybody's got their own little 2 cents about what beta means now and, controversy, whatever. But, I mean, it's really, really good. I can see it being a little grindy. I didn't play Terraria. Did you guys play Terraria at all?
I have not. No, the only Terraria experience I have is watching Zisto and Etho play it together.
See,
yeah,
I had tried watching a video of Terraria a while ago because I had heard it was kind of like Minecraft, and I didn't really enjoy the video. Then it came to the Xbox, and so there was a free demo.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried out the game. Once again, wasn't a fan. So I actually, because Starbound looks like Terraria, I literally know nothing about it. I haven't watched any videos on it.
See, and that's kind of how I was
past
too.
The stuff in the chat because it's not something that interests me. I don't know why.
I didn't think it would either. But it's one of those games. It doesn't feel like Minecraft. I don't think they're gonna find another game that feels like Minecraft. Everybody's trying with these voxel based, and they'll say it's not a Minecraft copy or whatever. But I mean, it's ridiculous how many things in this game are complete replicas of what's going on in Minecraft, and probably Terraria for that matter. But I don't know. I haven't played Terraria.
Yeah. It's
But there's like crafting tables and anvils, and half of the controls are the same, and it's like a 2D Minecraft to a certain extent. You dig down to find ores, and then you come up and fight monsters at night.
Well, I've
But-
also never been a big like 2D like side scroller type fan, so
It's definitely a little bit different. It's its own kind of game. It makes it feel a little bit. I don't know. It doesn't feel like the full experience of Minecraft, which is kind of what I was getting at. Where I don't think another game is going to come out and feel the same way Minecraft does. It's just that it's got that special kind of feel to it. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
about Starbound, because I think that's
Go
what
ahead.
we were talking about. But yeah, it's a great game. I mean, you dig down, you find ores, and there is a plot line. I'm not far enough in yet to get to kind of the end game type plot stuff, but the very beginning, you spend all of this time and you go through the very first quest really quickly, and you're trying to craft this beacon because basically you're stuck on a planet and you don't have any fuel for your ship, and you need to basically ET phone home type stuff. And you have no idea what's going to happen when you craft this beacon. And I did it. It was crazy. I'm not going to tell anyone what happened, but you guys go out and check it out for yourself. But it's I don't know. It's addicting. But after I finished that part, it's like I don't know what to do now.
yeah.
It's not like Minecraft where you're inspired to build things. It's just, I don't know. I think there's more stuff coming, but I'm not sure what it is yet.
Yeah, that's the impression that I got too. Is that they have the basic framework down, and there's some
Right.
story stuff happening, but they haven't gone the full direction with it, which is that's part of the beta thing. I mean, that's
Yeah.
everybody
Well,
sort of jumps on this let's release in beta bandwagons because then we can get funding to pay our programmers to add more stuff to this game and make it more
Right.
popular and
Well, I mean,
stuff like
Minecraft.
that, 'cause it worked for
It's-
Minecraft,
works.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Minecraft released an alpha and everybody played it. I remember I thought the name of the game was Minecraft Alpha whenever I started playing it. I didn't realize it was an alpha version.
Yeah. So I've got high hopes for. I think there's enough potential in Starbound from what I've seen to make it be
Yeah.
an entertaining long replay value they call it. I don't know what if you necessarily call it replay value because like the value in Minecraft is not replaying the game. It's
No,
just,
it's staying
the
continuously
open-ended,
engaged.
continuous. Exactly. So
Yeah.
So there seems to be some potential that Starbound could have a similar.
Yeah, it's kind
thing to
of
it.
capturing an exploratory vibe that Minecraft has kind of failed on. It's gotten a little bit better since 1.7 update, but
Right.
even after 1.7, it's like we've already explored everything. What am I going to go find? Another mesa biome? Okay, cool. I saw one.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Matt, have you been playing anything recently?
Other than Minecraft, and basically I've just been doing a whole bunch of stuff on VBFS off camera. I got a little recorded of my next episode earlier today before we started recording this, but I've got this project in mind talking about these new biomes where I want to have kind of a biodome thing going.
Whoa.
Where I sample each biome, like build a chunk of each biome in a contained space,
That's kind of
and
cool.
have them all be interconnected to each other. So
That
I've
would
been
be
working
cool to see.
on it's gonna be like they're gonna look like snow globes, really, when it's all said and done.
So like
This big
each one
glass
its
dome.
own little biodome.
Exactly, yeah, and I've got them. I'm building them in 3 layers. I picked four of the cold, quote unquote, biomes to be 1 layer, and then there's 6 biomes that are like the medium, the moderate temperature ones, like the plains
Mhm.
and the forests and stuff like
Right.
that. And then the 4 hot biomes I picked. And there's some. I think the game has technically something like 61 biomes. I think I read on the wiki.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm pretty sure it's. Yeah,
But
something like
some of
60
them are like there's
There's
like
river,
variations.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you
there's
can do
like
river, deep
forest
ocean,
hills and
Exactly.
Oh.
So I tried to go for the base versions of each of them. So I have a list, and I'm trying to work out exactly where. I mean, I know which layer they're going in, but in terms of the overall layout, and because of the amount of effort that's involved in getting everything set up, I actually want to have what is it, 6 and 8, 14 of these domes built before I really get started on trying to replicate the various biomes within them. And
Right.
that's a significant undertaking because
It sounds like a huge project.
And you're doing this
basically
on the server?
Yeah, I'm doing this on the server. Well, I planned it out in a creative world, and I made judicious
Obviously.
use of some MC Edit to figure out where I was going to place each of these domes and how they were going to interconnect and that sort of thing. But so that I would have a blueprint for moving forward in survival to replicate it. But so far I've got 8 of the stone bowls, so to speak, that form the bases of these domes.
Yeah.
I've got 8 of those built, and each of them is 16 blocks in diameter or in radius, if I'm remembering right. So it's a decent sized area that's being covered by just one of them, and then I've got bridges that are like 64 blocks long connecting them together, and it's going to be a massive project, and it's going to be quite visible on the overviewer, which was one of the reasons I was kind of pulled into this. Was it'd be kind of cool to be able to build something that's super large, that it kind of it's like, hey, what's that, and zoom in, as opposed to, because a lot of the bases you have to know that it's there, or have the signs on or whatever to try and find. I wanted something that at the default zoom level somebody could be like, hey, wait a second, there's something built over there, what is that? So that was
Matt,
one of the inspirations too.
I have to compliment you as being your neighbor on the server. You have really nice looking builds. Like even your AFK farms, like your sheep farm and your ice farm and stuff. Like when I'm working on my base, I just look over and I'm not like, oh, there's a bunch of cluttered buildings. Like the way you build the path between all of them and stuff, it looks really good.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I try. I think I've got a long way to go in terms of being a builder, but you've got, I started out watching Kurt, who's not much of a builder, but from him I went to BOO, and he's a really good builder, and obviously Beef's a really good builder as well. So I've been, gaining inspiration and technique from them and trying to apply it where I can. So it's good to hear that, it's not too bit shabby. It's turning out fairly well so far.
Well, that warm and fuzzy moment was brought to you by the letter L.
That's about it for games for me. I mean, I've been putting a lot of time into that project. I haven't played in my single player world even for forever. I've actually, I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to be starting a new single player world for
what?
I did a single player series for a long time that was a regular feature on my channel. I called it /build because the emphasis was on me trying to improve my building techniques and whatnot.
Yeah. You should do it /kill.
/kill. Well, you know what? That might not be a bad name for it, because I'm thinking if I do restart, start a new single player world, I think I'm going to do it the way Minecraft is doing their server. I think I'm going to play it in UHC mode.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too.
The additional challenge of that. I know we had actually talked briefly on the VBFS forums about having a UHC mode, like one day a week the server goes to UHC mode so that people that wanted that experience could have it, and that was quickly shot down because it didn't really make sense for the community.
Yeah. Well, and also at the time we were still in snapshots. That was right when they first introduced the whole like zombie sort of multiplying, like the zombie
the whole zombie horde thing. Yep.
And the zombie hordes back then were way worse because when it first started, they could actually spawn in lit areas. So if you hit a zombie right outside your base and then you retreated into your base for safety, there were ones inside your base as well.
Right.
Yeah, it has gotten slowly better. It used to be insane.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's holding me back on getting that series started is, or restarted as the case might be, is I want to spend some time figuring out what seed to choose. Because I would like to have a knowledge going into it. Yeah. Just so that I have some idea of what potential exists there. And I would love to get back into Feed the Beast at some point. I've friends that actually are running a Feed the Beast server that we're looking to update to one of the more recent packs. So if we ever end up doing that, Feed the Beast will restart on my channel at that point as well. But that's been defunct for months now.
Yeah, I've never been able to play FTB on my channel because I didn't get on the VBFS soon enough.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
sad.
and I'll tell you, it was painful recording it single player because when you're running the
Really?
server on the same computer that you're recording on, frame rate was horrendous.
Yeah.
It was not.
That's
It was not. A
and
pleasant
honestly, that's kind of
experience.
what led to the demise of the Minecraft FTB. You know, they were all into it, and then the lag really did kill it.
Yeah, it really did. Well, and there are certain pieces that just flat out died.
Yeah.
Don't think they can even run the map. I think the server just crashes every time they try to start it, and there's nothing that they can really do about it. So, yeah. And I think that's just a side effect of having all those mods all combined together. Eventually, the ghosts in the machine are going to take you down, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, it
True
doesn't
that.
surprise me. It's one of those things I think comes in waves. I think the FTB will fire up again,
Or
at some
something
point
like
in the
it.
future, or something like it. And I know Generic B on his channel for a while. He had been doing a bunch of the
Exit.
the mod pack things. He'd been doing
And,
Hexit, and
yeah, he did
Terraforma
Hexit, and he
Craft
did-
and
yeah,
stuff
TSC.
like that. Yeah, those were real popular for a while. They seem to have kind of lost their value as well. But something will resurge, and be it a new FTB mod pack that's better than all that went before, or whether somebody else comes up with a cool mod that's causes interest, and it'll keep interest for a few months, and then that'll probably fade away as well, as they either have difficulty keeping up with the current version, actual version of Minecraft, or whatever the
Right.
case might be. And some of that might actually improve in the future, because I know that they plan on having an official modding API at some point. That they're just
Ooh.
they're
You
continuing
gonna
to
make a mod slash?
It's something I would actually be interested in. Yeah.
Do it.
I have some
You can-
I have some Java programming
Slash
experience.
is mod.
So the slash mod.
Yeah. Jerry's mod.
Slashcraft. And it's all
Oh,
different,
that's awesome.
and it's just swords.
Yeah.
The
Like
entire thing
17
is just
different
making
kinds of
different
swords, all with the
swords,
same damage value.
They all do exactly the same thing, but have different
Yes.
sprites. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's one of the great things about Starbound is like the collection of weapons you can choose. Like there's a sword called the Poop Tickler. And there's just like, it's because it's all completely randomly generated. So they take like the prefixes and suffixes of the words and they completely randomly generate them. So you can find a sword called anything. Or you can find, I found a rainbow cape the other day that shoots sparkles out of my back whenever I jump, and it's fantastic. Anyway, I wish that's one of my favorite features of the game is the generation type stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to be finishing up. I wanted to mention a couple more things that don't really involve discussion. Just
In other words, Drew wants to talk to you and tells Matt and Snowshoe to shut up.
no, I'm trying to keep it shorter so it's easier for Matt to edit. I was just gonna mention that The Hobbit's coming out, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for it. I'm
Yes,
planning to go see the
Desolation
midnight release
Smaug.
if I can get tickets. And
Can I interject a discussion? Like a fast one?
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Okay,
really
thank you,
fast.
Slash. So last time I went to go see The Hobbit at midnight, right? And I read the books a long time ago. I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings nerd, but I read them a long time ago. And we got there at midnight, and some guy was giving out Hobbit names to everybody, and it was awesome.
That
My
is
name was-
fantastic.
What was it? It was Popo Danderfluff.
Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome. And he did it in calligraphy and wrote it on this awesome piece of paper. Anyway,
Oh wow!
That guy.
yeah, he can
wins
make a
at
job
life.
out of that. Yeah, my girlfriend's name was Ivy Chubb Baggins. Slightly unflattering, but still hilarious.
And then the other thing, Matt, I actually hadn't talked to you about this, so I don't know quite how you were affected, but a couple hours this way, we got snow finally.
Me too.
Did you have to break out the shoes?
Ooh,
Snowshoe?
bum, bum, bum. Actually, I wore my work shoes today and
No
got them
one-
really wet because I had
No
like
one
3
saw that coming.
Nope.
Yeah, had like
So,
3 inches
yeah,
of
it's
snow.
I'd written it, Snow and Matt for Matt. Yeah, I had written it for Snow and Matt to see in our chat. I had written first big snow. Not really a big snow compared to most
Not
people's
so
standards.
much,
It's just
yeah.
this is the first snow of the year around here that has actually like stuck to the ground and,
Yeah, with
and
accumulation.
build up a little bit. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. We are really excited to do more of these. At least I am.
Indeed.
Speak for yourself. This is terrible.
What a drudge.
Ugh.
One thing we would like to do is have like user submitted questions, sort of. Listener submitted questions.
You will not use us, people.
So if you would like to submit a question for us to answer, whether it's just like a quick yes or no question, or if it's something
Preferably not.
like,
Yeah.
Preferably something that elicits discussion.
yeah, well, if it's a, what do you think about the economy? I don't know.
No.
Do not ask that question.
Yeah, please don't.
I think
all
we
live in
will
America,
all
Mikey.
simultaneously say it sucks, and then we will move on to the next question.
So like it can pretty much, you can ask us anything. We may select not to answer it though. But
We
we'll
reserve the right to reject stupid questions.
Indeed.
we'll answer most stuff probably. So
So
yeah.
how did these people ask us these questions, Drew?
I was
Yeah,
about to say
did you
that.
just yell it really loud?
You can email us at demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Spelled?
DEM.
No space. No space.
GUYS. No space.
Because you put spaces in email addresses if you guys didn't know.
And then if you don't know how to spell podcast, PODCAST. And
We'll
that
have a
be in
link
the title of
in the
this.
description. So.
Yeah.
A link in the description of how to spell this podcast.
Oh man, that would be hilarious.
Let me spell
You
that
click
for
the
you,
link,
.com.
and it's to the like the pronunciation guide style videos. It's like DEM. G.
So you can email us and just write podcast question in the subject of the email so we know it's not spam. The other thing is we are hoping to have like guests / co-hosts
Including a
each-
slash.
yes each episode. I mean, I don't really expect to have someone every single time, but it'd be awesome to have some of our friends join us. So if you know us well enough that you either talk to us in person or you have us on Skype or whatever, you pretty much have an open invitation.
Don't sound
Just-
desperate.
Just let one of us know if you would like to be on the podcast, and we can.
And we will
We will-
review your
our people will
application
call
with
your
the
people.
thousands of other applications that we have to review for next week. And we will get back to you.
Well,
Yes,
once
please.
again, thanks for
Please.
listening.
Please submit your shiny questions to keep us focused on topics.
Yes.
That is
We
the
want to
main
talk
thing
about
I'm
things you want
interested
to
in.
do.
Yes.
All right. So,
All right, signing off. This is Snowshoe.
This is Slash.
and this is Drew. See ya.
Bye.
But
Bleh.